Good morning, everyone. I am Sir Chandran from EC Department Section C. My today's topic is to my today's TikTok topic is to explain about a talk about listening. What is what are the qualities we should have for listening? Getting to the topic, first of all, listening means what? Listening is the most important communication skill, as we know. We probably spend more time using our listening skills than other kind of skills. Like other skills, listening takes practice. Re- Real listening is an active process. Listening requires attention. Yes, we know this is correct because most of the time we'll in 24 hours most of the time we listen more than talking. We listening only will be the it is listening a sound traffic or any sounds, that is also is a type of listening activity only. So in 24 hours more half of the day it will more than half of the day it will go for listening only. Next, effective listeners. Effective listeners is the process of analyzing sounds, organizing them into recognizing pattern, interpreting the patterns, and understanding the message by inferen- inferring the meaning. Yeah, many of the people we experience with people in our daily lives are primarily attributed to ineffective listenings or lack of listening. Some people will be there, they can after listening is a type of skill. um, um, Most of the they'll unable to listen properly or understand properly, we can think. So it is also effect they are who will listen properly are the effective listeners. Listening comes first. The first and the foremost communication skill that we learn in our lives is nothing but listening. Hmm. Yes, first we have after we birth also, before speaking, first we have learned the listening. After that only, first is listening, after speaking, after reading, after writing. First foremost thing is, first of all we have started listening only. After next second after birth also we have started listening. Only we have to listening, that's why we think listening come first. Listening comes first. Yeah. Next slide. Listening, not hearing. Exactly. According to the Helmer College Learning Center, listening and learning are not the same. Hearing is the first stage of listening. Yeah. Hearing occurs when our ears pick up sound waves, which are them transport to our brain. The stage is after when we listen only, when we hear only after. Here is mm, hearing. Hearing means just we are hearing. Listening means we are understanding. That is. That's why listening is not hearing, they are saying. Listening is the communication process, and to be successful is an active process. In other words, we must be an active participants in the communication process. Inactive listening, meaning an evaluation of a message, must take place before a listening can respond to a speaker. Therefore, the listener is active actively working with while speaking and talking. Yeah. How can this happen? It is simple. Our our thoughts speed is much faster than our speech speed. But be careful. Don't allow the through speed to rise into dreaming. The habit will defeat our attempt to become an active listener. Yeah. That's why I say listening is not hearing. Basic communication skills profile. This is a table communication order learned, extend used, taught, listening. Order learned first, extend used first, extend thought fourth, speaking second, third. Reading, third, second. Writing, fourth, first. These are the type of. This is a basic communication skill profile. These are the. This is a order learn. This is a table which is basic communication skills profile. We can see this and understand. Next, fallacies about listening. Listening is not my problem. Listening and hearing are the same. Good listeners are good listeners. Smart people are better listeners. Yes, this is right. Smart people are better listeners. Listening improves with age. Yeah. After listening is a type of understanding we have discussed in the past. Past hmm, means when we listening is a type of understanding. When we are small, we'll unable to understand anything. Like we are as age improves, we'll understand listening. As age improves, we'll understand listening and grow by group. Listening skills are difficult to learn. Yeah, it is a type of skill. Listening is unable to learn by birth. Objectives of listening: to learn, to increase one understanding, to advertise our counsel, to relieve one's boredom, listening to music. Objectives of listening are to learn, to increase one understanding. Or next slide. Research findings. One quarter of our walking time is spent in listening. Since it is very huge. Means in 24 hours, 6 hours, we minimum 6 hours we'll talk, in our walking time it spends in listening. As I said, in more than half of the day we'll listening only. Here only it is there, or it is in the research findings only they are saying that in just walking only we listening it seems. 32.7% of time listening, 25.8% of the time speaking, 22.6% of the time writing. Yeah, that, effective listening is the most crucial skills for becoming a successful manager. It requires paying attention, interpreting, and remembering sounds stimuli. These are the research. They are saying that in our 20, life or in a day, 32.57% will spend our time in just for listening, and 25.8% of the time in speaking, 22.6% of the time in writing. Importance of listening. Communication is not Importance of listening. Communication is not complete without effective listening. Yeah, and if we communication is in nothing but a speaking. If we listen only, we can speak and reply. If we speak only, we can reply. So that first it is not complete without effective listening. They are saying that communication is not complete without effective listening. If we understand what they are saying only, we can give reply. That is only known as communication. So that first, if you effective listening is the main key role it plays in communication. An attentive listening stimulates better speaking by the speaker. A good listener learns more than an indifferent listener. Yeah, a good listening can retrieve vague speaking in way that produce clearer meaning. A good listener learns to detect prejudices, assimilates, and attitudes. Real listening. Real listening has three basic steps. Real listening. Real listening has three basic steps: hearing, understanding, judging. First of all, hearing. We have to know. Hearing just means listening enough to catch what the speaker is saying. For example, say you were listening to a report on zebras and the speaker mentioned that no two are alike. If you can repeat the fact, then you have to hear what was has been said. Yeah, means they are saying that said that listening to a report on zebras. A report we are listening a report. Then the speaker mentioned that no two are alike means no two zebras are same. If you can't repeat the fact, then how can hear is said? That's it. Yeah. Understanding. The next part of listening happens when you take what you have heard and understand it in your own way. Let's go back to the report on zebras. What you hear that no two are alike. Think about what the might mean. You might think maybe that means that the pattern of the strips is different from each other. Understanding. It's not right. We are thinking understanding. Judging. After you are sure that you have understood what the speaker has said, think about whether it makes sense. Do you believe what you have heard? You might think, how could the strips be different for each zebra? But then again, the fingerprints are different for every person. I think that means same believable. Yeah, it's first we hear that no two zebras as I like. Understanding, understanding, understanding that maybe it means patterns are different for each zebra. Judging means as same as our fingerprints for women for humans only their fingerprints different like for animals also we can think it is a type of different will it will be there like fingerprints. Next, active listening process steps: hearing, filtering, comprehending, remembering, responding. These are the steps. Active listening process. Hearing is the first essential step in the listening process and relating to the sensory perception of sound. The listener further process the perceived sound for learning to be effective. Hearing needs to be done with attentiveness and concentration. Filtering. Here is the first step. Oh. Filtering. The step involves the step involves sensing and filtering of hearing sounds. The heard message is categorized as want as unwanted. The unwanted message is discarded. The sense of judge of the individual comes into play. That is the filtering process is subject and person chooses to return what makes sense to him. Yeah. After hearing, we have to we'll do filtering what we it is useful and what is unuseful, and we'll filter it. Comprehending. The listening understands what the speaker has tried to convey. The activity can be described as observing, grasping, or assimilating. The listen uses his knowledge, experience, perception, and cognitive power. After comprehending is nothing but understanding what the listener understand that the what the what he said other person what the speaker says we can easily we can read them what the speaker has tried to convey that what the speaker has tried to convey wo- we have to we have to comprehending what he is saying and will understand it try to understand and comprehend it. Remembering. After understanding, we'll remember it in our mind what he has said. After comprehending, the assimilated message is storing in memory to facilitate future recall. What in on that day, the yeah, that speaker has said something. It that is we have to remember it. Example like teaching. What the teacher says after at exams, we will remember it. It's nothing but remembering. Responding to a message takes place at the end of the communication immediately after or later to show that message is being received and comprehended. Responding is nothing but now past I took example that teacher has in here um, here comprehend here speaker is teacher. Comprehend means we are what the teacher has said. We will listen the topic. Remembering means will recall it. Responding means writing in the exam what the teacher has said. Types of listening: discriminative listening, comprehensive listening, evaluative listening, attentive listening, pretense listening, selective listening, and intuitive listening. There are eight types. Discriminative listening. It involves identifying the difference between various sounds. It allows enables one to difference between familiar and unfamiliar language. Discriminative listening means understanding in different languages. It comprehensive listening. It involves attached meaning to what being listened to. It may be also include comprehend the non-verbal message being conveyed by the speaker. What is saying it will understand. Evaluative listening. It evaluate and analyze the meaning of the. It involves judging the acceptance of the word, how logic one find it new. Evaluate means he's saying is right or not. We'll think no. That is only evaluate listening. Attentive listening. It involves paying attention to the words be spoken. Attentive means understanding. Attentive listening means understanding it. Pretense it involves more listening than listening. It means pretense through facial expressions. Means pretense listening means by seeing the face we can understand it. Selective listening. It involves select the discriminate part of the message and ignoring the undesired part of the. It involves select. Yeah. Intuitive listening. It means listening through the intuitive mind by selecting the form of internal dialogues being simulated. Barriers of effective listening. Physical barriers, people related barriers, physical barriers. Phys- these are the physical noise, poor source, defective mechanical frequency, these or these are physiological state of health, disability, wanted attention, wanted attention on state of health of the listening or the speaker affect the listening ability. Fever, pain, or any other discomfort will in some time health condition where the physical barriers will be different in the bass on the voice trans different will speaking, that is speaking will be different. Disability: hearing poor lens hearing deficiency may lead to poor listening. Similarly, speech disorders of the speaker may be speech in order to the listener. Speaker accent may also make it difficult for the listener to comprehend. Disability means some members are unable to hear properly. That is also known as disability. Wandering attention. Human mind can process words at the rate of 500 per minute, whereas a speak at the rate about 150 per minute. The difference between two lives and listener will sufficient time to let the mind wander. Yeah, that is only in definition only we can understand what wandering attention being unused of the speaker ability. Based on past experience or inputs from sources, the listening may have preconceived notation of the speaker ability. He may perceive the speaker to be not be well informed informed or to be the lacking in the depth, and hence the listener will not listen to the speaker has to say. Personal, some people sometimes the listener is with personal concerns and anxiety. This may difficult to pursue what is with the speaker attitude everyone. The listener may be highly with a noise attitude. Thus listener may be highly egocentric with a noise it is all attitude. Physical barriers, impatience, emotional blocks. The listener may not even patience to wait for the other person to. If someone unable to, if any speaker says more time, it think that what I is saying that it is also impatience, emotional blocks. In some conditions, we'll seeing a movie, old movie, some will cry. That is also emotional blocks. Tips for good listening: give your full attention. First thing, make sure your mind is focused. Second thing, let the speaker finish before you begin to talk. That is the third thing. Let, let yourself finish listening before you begin to speak. This is the fourth thing. Listen for main ideas. Fifth thing. Ask questions. What you understand? What is said? Mm. After final thing is give the feedback. What is said, good or bad. If he said any mistakes, say them. He can correct it. If he said nicely, encourage him. So he can will be happy. He will be happy. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Teacher, sir. Thank you for listening my presentation. Thank you, sir.